Ben, let me give you another fact that's going to blow your mind. Of the $168 billion that the Fed paid last year in interest on reserves.
Say that number again. You said 168 billion.
Billion.
Golly.
Roughly half of that, nearly 50%, went to foreign banks. So not even American banks. Foreign banks getting tens of billions of dollars of U.S. taxpayer money.
Every year.
Every year. And so I'll tell you, when I got off Squawk Box, I literally walked back to my office. And the CEO of one of the biggest banks in the United States, a very, very well-known CEO, who I'm not going to name, but he's someone very well-known, he called me, very dismayed, and saying, this is a terrible idea. And I was sort of chuckling, saying, so you're saying you like getting billions of dollars of taxpayer funds every year? And his argument was, well, look, if the Fed stops paying interest on reserves, it's very simple. We'll just buy treasuries instead, so you'll have to pay interest regardless. Now, and he said, and if you don't let us, if you just make us keep reserves, that's confiscation, and you can't do that. And I'll tell you my reaction. Let me take each of those arguments that he made. On the first one, the Fed would be forced to buy treasuries. Well, or no, I'm sorry, not the Fed. The banks would be forced to buy treasuries instead of just parking their money at the Fed. That in and of itself would be a good outcome. Look, there's a lot of concern about a failed Fed auction. If the banks were buying treasuries, that would create demand for treasuries. And you know one of the things it would do? It would drive down the interest rate by creating more demand for treasuries, which means, listen, one of the things Donald Trump is trying very hard to do is to get the Fed to lower the interest rate. And Jay Powell doesn't want to do it. This change would create a market dynamic that would lower interest rates. That's a good thing. Secondly, you got a ton of money that are what are called excess reserves. They're beyond what a reasonable reserve requirement is.
Yeah.
And it's just sitting at the Fed. You know what that means? It means those billions of dollars, or even those trillions of dollars, are not being loaned to small businesses. They're not being loaned to open a new store, to buy new equipment, to hire new workers, to expand a new stuff. They're not creating jobs. It's just sitting there. The Fed is paying them. Just park your capital and do nothing. I'd much rather banks, if they want to earn a return, have to make loans and loan that out. And